In this video by ABN Painting, we're spray painting a cinder block wall, and we start our preparation work by moving dirt a few inches away from the wall. Next step is pressure washing. On this project, every single neighbor around the backyard that we're working on has something in their yard that we have to worry about the overspray going to the other side. This neighbor has pavers right next to the wall and a bunch of personal belongings, and to prevent the overspray going to the side of the neighbor, we put wood on top of the wall. This wood is 6 inches tall, and we put it all the way across the wall. The second neighbor has pool right next to the wall, and we covered the top of the wall using 12-inch masking paper that we folded in half. And there is a third neighbor. Even though they don't have much in their backyard, the house itself is sitting very close to the wall that we're gonna be spray painting, and there is a concern that the overspray is gonna end up on the house itself, and that's why we covered that section of the wall that is close to the house using 12-inch masking paper. And this is the view from the side that we're gonna be spray painting. And after we covered the top of the wall, we masked off everything else. The side gate we masked off using a combination of 12-inch masking paper and plastic. Part of the house that is next to the wall we covered with 12-inch masking paper. Covered the satellite dish with plastic and paper. And also masked off all the pool equipment. Among the pool equipment there are some plastic pipes that are so close to the wall that if we try to mask them, the wall behind it will not get painted properly, so it will look nicer if we just spray paint those. The patio that is next to the wall we covered with tarps. This is the end of the wall, and the part of the house next to it we covered with 12-inch masking paper. And the last thing that we covered was the pool. On a typical project, when we spray paint walls in a backyard, we only cover the pool deck, the concrete part of the pool. We usually do not cover the water. However, here, this backyard is relatively small, and the pool is taking up pretty much entire backyard. So no matter which part of the wall we are spray painting, the overspray is very likely to end up in a pool, and for that reason we covered the entire pool including the water. After we finished with masking, we start spray painting, and since this wall has not been painted before, the first coat is the primer. We are using Dunn Edwards masonry primer that's called F-Stop. When I buy the primer, I usually ask the store to tint it towards the color of the paint that we're gonna be using, so it's easier to cover. And I guess they did the best they could, but I wish they tinted it just a little bit darker, because the color that we're gonna be using on top of that is gonna be black, and with the primer being such a light color, it will be a little bit difficult to cover. When the primer had enough time to dry, we apply the first coat of paint. Usually when we paint cinder block walls, we do a total of 3 coats. 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. But here, because the color is very dark, it took us a total of 4 coats of paint for the wall to look good. When we spray paint cinder block walls, we usually apply the paint in 2 different directions. For the first coat, we apply it going from side to side, and when we apply the second coat, we go up and down. Applying paint in 2 different directions ensures that the coverage is even and there is no missed spots. Here we're applying the second coat of paint. After we were finished with the second coat of paint, we stopped recording and applied 2 more coats of paint off camera. And this is the look of the wall before and after.